Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rob Long, and in today's video we're going to take a look at how you can increase your pay and hireability as a medical assistant by getting a limited scope x-ray license. So what exactly is a limited scope x-ray license? In short, it's a license that allows you to take x-rays but only of specific body parts. Unlike a registered radiologic technologist, or a RT for short, more commonly referred to as a x-ray tech, who can take radiographs of every part of the body. Limited scope is an add-on license available to medical assistants, but it's certainly not limited to just MAs. You can be a LPN or even an RN and get a limited scope x-ray license. Pretty much anyone that's part of the clinical medical staff can get a limited scope license to be a limited scope x-ray operator. However, you must work at a facility that actually has an x-ray machine, because that's where you're going to be doing most of your homework assignments and accumulating your clinical hours under the supervision of a registered technologist. I had worked as a medical assistant for a couple years when I decided to get my limited scope x-ray license, and I'm very glad that I did. I ended up getting a pay increase of just over 20%, and when I was looking for a new job after receiving my license, I applied to 5 different urgent cares and got callbacks for interviews with all 5, all within a week of submitting my applications. Being an MA and being able to take x-rays makes you a hot commodity. It's great for the employer because instead of paying an MA and an x-ray tech, they can essentially get both for less than the cost of paying 2 individuals. Albeit, you're not going to be able to do quite everything a full x-ray tech can do. Here's a rundown of the key differences between a limited scope x-ray operator and a registered x-ray tech. Some states have different variations on their requirements, but this is how it works in Tennessee. First, let's take a look at the schooling. For a full x-ray tech, you're going to be looking at roughly 2 years to get an associate's degree, or you can opt to get your bachelor's degree in 4. Although, if you already hold an associate's degree or bachelor's degree and your previous classes meet the prerequisite requirements, you can immediately start a radiography program and become a registered radiologic tech in around a year. For a limited scope license, well, it depends. You see, a limited scope license is actually a combination of several different certifications. The schooling and licensing is broken up into several parts. You can get a license to take chest x-rays, the skull and sinuses, the spine, or the extremities, arms, legs, hips, shoulders, hands, feet. Maybe you work at a pulmonologist office. You can get a license just to take chest x-rays. You can get a license in any combination of body categories I just listed. However, before you can take any of the body category classes, you have to first take the core class. The core class covers the basics: radiation safety, radiation physics, and the technical workings of an x-ray machine, and so on. To be able to apply for a license, you first have to take the core class in at least one body category. Assuming you took the core class in all the body categories to have a complete limited scope license, it should take approximately 6 to 9 months. The classes I took were catered primarily to people that already worked at a medical office, so classes were on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays from 8 to 3. I finished the schooling in less than 3 months, mainly because I elected to only get licensed in the chest and extremities, because those are the areas we x-ray most at an urgent care facility. Let's go over some of the job opportunities. Obviously, a full x-ray tech is going to have more opportunities than a limited scope x-ray operator, but some of them actually overlap. As a limited tech, you can work in urgent care. That's probably going to be your biggest employer of limited scope techs. Or you could work in a private practice, a chiropractor's office, or for a podiatrist if you want to take x-rays of feet all day. You're not very likely to get a job working at a hospital taking x-rays. That's pretty much the RT's domain. Now let's go over pay. Pay is going to differ greatly depending on experience, the job setting, and where you live. But the average hourly wage for a full x-ray tech in the US as of 2022 is around $27 per hour. For the limited scope tech, the pay also seems to vary wildly and depending on many factors, the greatest of which being your underlying license. Because remember, limited scope x-ray is an add-on license. You're obviously going to make more as an RN with limited scope as you are as a medical assistant with limited scope. That being said, you can expect to receive a $2 to $6 an hour pay bump for getting the limited scope license, in addition to whatever your current licensure or certification is that you hold. Finally, let's go over just how limited you are as a limited scope X-ray tech. Even if you took all the classes and got the complete limited scope license, you can image the hip joint, but not bilaterally, because that would be an X-ray of the pelvis, which is not included in the limited license. You can do the chest X-rays, but you can't do a rib X-ray. You can't do a KUB, which is a very common X-ray that images the kidneys, ureters, and bladder. In fact, you can't do anything in the abdominal cavity. And the one place that the full X-ray tech has a huge advantage is in growth opportunities and expanding on your license. If you're limited scope, that's it. That's all you can ever do. If you're a full RT, you can receive additional training and be a MRI technician, a CT tech, do radiation therapy, and much more. And of course, your pay will only increase with these extra certifications. So is getting a limited scope X-ray license actually worth it? Absolutely, especially if you're a MA. You can get a nice pay increase while expanding your skill set, all with minimal time and money spent on schooling. And in some cases, your current employer will actually cover the cost of your tuition. I know that the urgent care that I work for now will actually pay for its employees to become limited scope X-ray techs. Of course, I didn't start working there until after I'd already paid for the schooling myself, but oh well. On a side note, there are some states, like Georgia for example, that don't even require a license to be a limited scope X-ray tech. People just take a 6-hour radiation safety course, and that's it. If that doesn't scare you, it should. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into what it means to have a limited scope X-ray license. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Until next time, I'm Rob Long, a medical guy. Thanks for watching.